Paris, 7th arrondissement. Walking into the west wing of the Musée d'Orsay, a huge bronze door quietly stands in the exhibition hall where light and shadow interweave. The door is 6 meters high and weighs 8 tons. It is called the Gate of Hell. This is not a real door, but a mirror leading to the edge of consciousness. Hundreds of twisted souls poured out of the door, their limbs intertwined in their expressions in pain, as if they had frozen the eternal moment of hell. At the top, a thinker quietly overlooked the chaotic abyss. He seemed to be examining, or rather, doubting, the truth hidden behind this door. This is the most mysterious work of Auguste Rodin's life. But few people know this: the door was never actually completed. It was neither an architectural decoration nor had a clear purpose. Even the original building project for it was cancelled before the sculpture was completed. So why did Rodin spend nearly 40 years repeatedly revising it? And why did he insist on naming this door Hell? All the clues are hidden in the carved code on this door. And this exploration will start from a stormy night in 1875. In 1875, Auguste Rodin was only 35 years old and was in the most struggling stage of his life. He had neither been recognized by the Academy nor produced any important works. The art world in Paris still looked down on this sculptor from a poor family, but his heart was being devoured by a huge vision, a sculptural door leading to another world. It all started with a book. The Divine Comedy, the immortal epic poem by Italian poet Dante Alighieri. Rodin once read the illustrated version of Inferno in a library in Brussels. The suffering, betrayal, desire and oracles flowing in those images, like runes, were deeply engraved in his soul. Dante described 9 levels of hell in his book, each symbolizing a kind of human depravity. From adultery to greed, from heresy to betrayal, these are not fictional myths, but mirror images of reality, a projection of the deepest part of human subconsciousness. Rodin seemed to see something that others could not see. Many years later he wrote in a letter, "I am not carving the flames of hell, but the unclosed door in the human heart." In 1879, the French government planned to build a museum of decorative arts, named Palais des Arts Décoratifs. They proposed to Rodin a proposal to design a group of sculptures for the main entrance, with the theme of the Divine Comedy, Inferno. This was not an ordinary commission, but a secret door between ancient literature and modern art. Rodin agreed. But no one expected that this door would take 40 years to complete, and he himself became more and more like a traveler whose soul was sucked away by the gate of hell. Approaching the gates of hell, you will find an amazing detail: there are about 180 figures densely packed on the gate. But in Rodin's early sketches and manuscripts, 72 human reliefs repeatedly appear in the core composition. This number is not random. In the Jewish mysticism, the Key of Solomon, the 72 demons of hell are a group of spirits that constitute another dimension. They represent the archetypes of desire, chaos and destruction, and also symbolize the 72 forms of human soul division. In the Christian tradition, 72 is the number of disciples sent by Jesus, a hidden number in the cosmic order. In the sculptures, these figures are distorted and their eyes are empty, as if they are shouting silently. They have no names and seem to be projected from another world. Art historian Jean-Marie Julien wrote in his study, Rodin did not copy Dante's hell scene, but used Dante to create his own secret universe. These reliefs are arranged on the left and right sides of the door. Some are struggling, some are thinking, and some even seem to be looking at each other, as if whispering or talking. The most famous statue, the Thinker, was not originally created independently, but was originally located in the center of the top of the door of hell. What he was looking at was not the ground, but hell. Even more amazing is that in the 1920s, a French writer who studied mysticism found that the relief layout on the gates of hell was highly consistent with the soul-splitting diagram in alchemy. This diagram originated from the medieval Hermetic document, the Golden Book. These coincidences, like cracks, are tearing open the truth beneath the surface of the sculptures. Rodin's assistant once privately revealed, he often stares at these sculptures in a daze, as if listening to something. Sometimes he would suddenly shout stop and then fall silent again. Is this the artist's inspiration, or some kind of invisible intervention? He is the most well-known image in Rodin's works. He is called the thinker, the embodiment of philosophy, and the monument of human thinking. But do we really understand the true identity of this bronze statue? Originally, the thinker was not called this name. Rodin himself called him le poète, the poet, in his first manuscript. He was originally sculpted for Dante in the Divine Comedy, symbolizing a human witness gazing into hell. However, Rodin did not give him a specific face, clothing, or symbol. This poet is naked, squatting, with tense muscles, which looks like thinking, but also like repression, struggle, and regret. His head-down posture is more like being overwhelmed by some unfathomable truth, rather than simply meditating. Even more shocking is that the location of this statue in the gates of hell, right in the center of the top of the door, is exactly the position of the fallen in ancient mysticism. In ancient alchemical diagrams, there is a recurring image, a strong man squatting with his head bowed, located at the dividing line between heaven and hell, known as the guardian of the threshold. He represents the inner shadow that consciousness must face when entering another dimension. And in the literature of Satanist studies, there is also an image of a mysterious seated figure, thought to be the fallen angel Lucifer in his silent state after his fall, no longer a blazing angel, nor the Lord of Hell, but contemplating his own fallen existence. The thinker is perhaps not a symbol of thought, but rather punishment after knowing. He has seen hell. He is examining the fall of mankind. Rodin never publicly explained the true meaning of the statue. He only said, the meditator is silent because he sees things that he cannot name. There is an enlarged replica of the thinker in front of the Pantheon in Paris. Countless tourists stop to imitate and take photos, but they never notice that behind him is the Gothic porch decorated with Lucifer reliefs. Is it a coincidence or a hint? When Rodin started to create the gates of hell, he was only 39 years old. But when he died, he was already 81 years old, and the gate was still unfinished. This is not a technical delay. All the necessary molds, characters, and layouts were already available in the 1890s. Even many relief sculptures such as the Kiss and the Thinker have long become independent works and are exhibited around the world. But the door was never completely cast and installed. Whenever someone asked about the progress, Rodin would always answer casually, "Not enough yet." But in the notes of his studio assistants, there is an even stranger description. He would look at the door and fall into a trance, as if he was being observed by something. On several occasions, he even dreamed that the door slowly opened at night and something walked out from it. His health also deteriorated rapidly after 1900. He began to suffer from hallucinations, insomnia, and extreme mood swings. In his will, he deliberately emphasized, "The door shall not be used as a tombstone, nor placed in any religious place." He did not even allow the door to be called a religious work. These abnormal actions have triggered a long-standing speculation. Did Rodin see a world he shouldn't have seen? Is this door a seal of some other world? Once completed, will the door truly open? In a 1937 paper, historian Prunald Moschel suggested that Rodin's failure to complete the gates of hell was not due to artistic confusion, but rather to fear. He did not want to see the world fully formed. Above the gates of hell, in the middle of the relief, there is an imperceptible combination of letters, a tiny delta symbol, the Greek letter delta, symbolizing gateway and change. In some ancient documents, this symbol is used to mark the door to another dimension. Art critics and occult researchers have even begun to call this work the most dangerous sculpture in France. In his later years, Rodin once said something meaningful to a young reporter. "I never opened that door. It just opened by itself in my dream. You think it leads to hell? No, it's a door from there to here. What is hell? Is it a myth? Is it a punishment mechanism in religious doctrines? Or is it some kind of structure that really exists in another dimension?" We tried to find the answer in The Gate of Hell, but found that it is not only a sculpture, but more like a medium that connects all human projections of the concept of hell. From the Eris in Sumerian mythology to the Book of the Dead in ancient Egypt, to the 18 levels of hell in Buddhism and the eternal fire in Christianity, almost all ancient civilizations have depicted some form of underworld and described the scenes that the soul encounters after falling into it. These descriptions, coincidentally, contain pain, regret, distortion, and inability to escape, almost identical to the struggling bodies in The Gate of Hell. Does this mean that Rodin not only restored hell in art, but also summoned it in memory? Psychoanalyst Jung once proposed the concept of collective unconsciousness, believing that humans have stored some archetypes in ancient memory, and hell is the oldest one among them. Did Rodin accidentally open this subconscious projection window? Or did he see something with his own eyes, something that humans should not see? The Gates of Hell is now quietly displayed in front of the Rodin Museum in Paris and the National Museum of Western Art in Tokyo. Visitors come in an endless stream, taking photos and marveling at it, but few stop to take a closer look at the eyes of those figures, the distorted faces suppressed in the corners of the door frames. They seem to be waiting for a moment to be opened again. What Rodin left behind is not only an unfinished work, but also an unfinished mystery. He once said, "The greatest mission of art is not to reproduce the world, but to reveal another reality hidden in it." If the Gate of Hell is not closed, but just sleeping, then are we already standing in front of the gate, but unaware of it? Do you believe that the Gate of Hell is just art, or is it the entrance to some kind of seal? Have you ever seen it slowly opening in your dreams? Let us know what you think in the comments. If you want to explore forgotten realities, subscribe to the channel and let's keep going.